This is IED 5.5a CAD Model Features Part 1. In this activity, we're going to learn how to use some new tools. The first tool we're going to learn to use is the Revolve tool. The Revolve tool is a feature tool. We already know how to use the fillet tool, the work axis, and the work plane. We're now going to add Revolve to what we know. In order to do this, we're going to use our sketching tools of construction line, our basic geometric constraints, and our line command. So let's go ahead and go into Inventor. And in Inventor, I'm going to start a new part. And I'm going to start a new 2D sketch. And I like to work on the XY plane. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit because this item is a little bigger than that initial screen, and place my origin down here in the lower left corner. So I have my starting point ready to go so I can get moving on this. So when I look at this item, it's a rubber handle sleeve. This is like what you would find on the end of a shovel or a round cylindrical object, or even like the bike handlebars that you might have had when you were a younger kid, like a tricycle, where it had the streamers coming off the end of it. This is a hole that releases air, so when you slide this handle grip or the sleeve onto the handle, it slides in, lets the air out so you don't have a vacuum or pressure built up inside. This is also where they would tie the streamers when they put them on your bike. The overall outside diameter of this sleeve is 1.375. OD stands for outside diameter. And again, we have our diameter symbol here, the circle with the line through it. The diameter of this little hole down here is 0.1875. The fillet round over here is a radius of 0.125 typical, which means both ends are the same. The thickness of our material here is 0.25, and the thickness of the end down here where the small hole is 0.156. Its overall length is 4.469. So we know all the information we need that we can use to fill this out. They are asking us to fill these items in. I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to let Inventor do the work for me. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is just grab my line tool, and I'm going to start here at the origin, which is a nice place to start, and I'm going to start drawing my box, this little L shape here. I'm not worrying about any dimensions at this point. I'm just putting it in place so I have the basic look of it in this L-shaped design. I did that because I'm going to now use my constraints to resize it and get it to the sizes that I need. First thing that I can see is that this part right here, that sticks up, is 0.156. So I'm going to get my dimension constraint tool, click on this line here, and I'm going to dimension this off at 0.156. So that puts him at the right size. The next thing I need to know is the length of this object. Actually, I'm going to do the end here. This thickness is the thickness of the material, which is 0.25. So my material thickness on the end, I'm going to click on that, put my dimension in here at 0.25. And then the last thing I want to do is the length of the whole object is 4.469, which will put it out there. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so I can still see it. So that's the basic shape of it. I don't know yet the correct height here. I've still got to add that in. That is right here. I'll figure that out here in just a second. And I need to add this center line that is right through here. Now the construction line that represents our axis of rotation, I just called it a center line, is this line that goes down the center of the handle sleeve. It is in the center, therefore it is 1/2 of the diameter. So I'm going to click on my line tool, select my construction line command, and just up here anywhere I'm going to draw a line that goes straight across. Doesn't matter how long it is. It's a horizontal line. Created that so that I have that on here as my axis of rotation. I need to place it in the right spot, so I'm going to use my dimension tool. I'll click on the line, click over here on the origin, come out here to the left a little bit, and that dimension is going to be 1.375 divided by 2 because it's the radius, not the diameter. It's the center point. That will put that guy right there where I need him to be. I can move this dimension up if I would like so I can see it better. So I know that I've got the right one there. So I've got the right dimension going across here. It's centered. For the center, we're going to revolve around it. Now I need to know how high to make this. That's this last line here that they're talking about right here. It's that 1/2 the diameter of this small hole because it is the radius to create that. So again, I'll grab my dimension tool. I'll zoom in here a little bit, click on this line, click on my construction line that I drew, and I'm going to type 0.1875 divided by 2. Let Inventor do the work. Zoom back out so I can see it. Inventor put it in at the right height. We have all of our dimensions on here where we need them so that we are ready to finish this sketch. Once we finish the sketch, I like to click on my home view so it takes it back so I can see everything, and you can see all the items that we have on here. We have our construction line, which is our axis of rotation. We have this object here that we're going to revolve around that construction line to create this grip or handle sleeve. So, new tool. This is a feature tool, a 3D model feature. We're going to click on this revolve tool. It says, hey, what would you like? Well, we would like a full revolve. Right here it says extents are full. It wants us to select the profile. Well, nicely for us, or fortunately for us, the profile has already been selected for us. It knew what to grab. It did it for us. That's good. And it wants to know what axis now do you want to revolve it around. So I got to click on the axis command here, and I'm going to pick the center line or that construction line that I created, and there it puts that revolve all the way around it. You can see here starts and rolls that thing around, all based on that center line. That is the end of that command. The revolve command is done. If I take now and rotate my object, you'll see I have the small hole at the end and the large hole here, and you can see looking down through what you have. I'll go back to my home view. I'm going to use another feature that we already know how to use. It's a modify feature called the fillet. We've used that before, and as I look at this, it tells me these are 0.25 inch fillets, so I'm going to change the radius here to 0.25. I'm going to click on the edge, this white, and turns right down here at the end. You can see it's rounded it off. It's showing you that. Same at this end. Rounded that one off. I'll click OK to that. My rubber sleeve for the handle is now complete. It's drawn. You can see it's rounded over. Everything looks good. The only thing left to do if I wish to do it would be to change its material. And I can do that by right-clicking on the 3D box up here where your part is listed. Currently it's called Part 4 for me. It's probably Part 1 for you maybe. I'm going to go down to iProperties, go to Physical, and I can change the material that it's made out of, and I'm going to go down to where it says rubber, click on rubber, and apply that, click OK, and you see I now have a black rubber handle sleeve. So at this time, I'm done with that object, so go ahead and save it. They ask that you save it as rubber handle sleeve with your initials. So in your folder where you're saving your items, save that as rubber handle sleeve. I would also put down 5.5a-1 rubber handle sleeve with your initials. That ends this video.